People call it silence when they can't hear anything. I don't. Silence is pressure that doesn't know where to go. If you wait long enough, it chooses a direction and leans. My studio lives below street level. Daylight ends at the stairs. The walls wear foam wedges like dull gray ribs. Solder lives in the air. Cables remember every touch. At minus 56 dBFS, there's still a pulse. Mains at 60 Hz, the soft hiss that hides above 10 kHz, the paint settling, my blood arguing gently with the transformer hum. On good nights, the noise floor is velvet. On bad nights, it's a mouth. Tonight, it's a mouth. The analyzer carves a thin, perfect notch at 2.3 kHz. That band is where whispers live, soft consonants. The measured shape of "don't tell anyone." The dip is too clean to be an accident. I reset the chain, Newman to 87 into a clean pre. Low cut at 60. No limiter, reference at minus 18 LUFS. Notch remains. I solo the band, but there's nothing to solo. It isn't there at all. Upstairs the dead elevator stirs. It hasn't moved in 5 years. The floor breathes 35 Hz. A metallic overtone answers near 220. A thin scrape follows, like paper dragged across a grill, and then an envelope lies on the studio floor, pushed under the door, damp at the edges, smelling faintly of ozone. Inside, a small USB drive, and a note, letters that look like a hand relearning how to be a hand. Return 1 moment. You'll hear it when you're close enough. The file is named track_0. Wave, 44.1 kHz, 24-bit, duration. Seconds, digital black, no DC offset. Checksum's intact, I load it anyway. The meters don't move. The spectrum is gray and flat, except every 7.8 seconds the baseline trembles. 2 pixels up, 2 down, below thermal noise, below reason. The pattern repeats with the patience of something that has never learned how to hurry. Silence shouldn't have a pulse. I put on the headphones, Sennheiser H650, reference gain where I always keep it. Nothing reaches my ears, but the room pressure leans. It feels like standing in front of a subwoofer turned down to almost nothing. You don't hear it, you remember it. My chest tightens, releases. The U87's red dot flickers like a cautionary breath. The file's metadata holds a single coordinate, latitude without longitude. The software guesses the blanks and drops a pin on a seam between buildings that don't admit there's a seam. An alley that exists only if you are the one walking. Past midnight I go. The city breathes in its usual bands. Transformers under the pavement. 60 Hz tires hissing somewhere near 1 to 2 kHz. Rain lifting a ribbon of noise. As I near the pin, the ambience compresses. Tails shorten. Footsteps stop returning. Space gives up the habit of replying. By the time I reach the alley mouth, I feel like a sound without a room. Street lights blink near 7 Hz, the brain's polite way of saying, careful. I say the number softly, to hear if my voice still exists outside my head. 6, XY capsules, phantom power on. Low cut at 80, limiter off. 38 dB of gain record. 1 step in and sound ends. Air keeps its pressure, keeps its taste, but it refuses to echo. RT60 collapses below 1/10 of a second. Humidity is high. Temperature drops. I talk to keep my mind straight. Decay under 0.1. Humidity 90. The temperature -3 from the street. Reflections absent. When I play that line back later, my voice will arrive 42 milliseconds before I say the words. An echo that gets there first. The meters rise with no input. Peak light taps red, returns, taps again. The waveform rests flat with a small DC offset, not noise, presence. Then a smooth 93 Hz sine begins somewhere under the stones. The bones behind my sternum pay attention. Clean, not a generator, not a truck idle. A tone, the way a pulse is a tone, not made. Repeated. 2 harmonics appear. 372 Hz. 744, exact. Purposeful. I say the bass aloud, and the pitch climbs a scent like it wants to meet my breath where it is. I ask the alley, what do you want? When you listen. Half a second of line straight nothing. Then someone breathes inside the capsule. The limiter kisses -6. The breath tastes like iron and rain. The aftertaste of something that used to be lightning. And the word that follows isn't produced. It's permitted. Yes, format near 1.5 kHz. Gender blurred. Dynamics are flat as calm water. A voice without the work of having a throat. Under the lamp she exists. Gray coat. Wet shoulders. The puddle beneath her reflects everything but her. The left channel closes while the right continues, like the alley is choosing which ear to trust. When she speaks, there is no room around her. No air to sign the syllables. The sound sits perfectly in the middle, like thought. This street listens, she says. Her consonants run backward first, then forward, as if the audio tried both directions and kept both. Sometimes, to those who can't keep quiet inside. Fog bends obediently around her outline. My mouth reports numbers I didn't plan to say. Wind 0, apparent SPL uncertain. Phase error, 180. I blink. She's not there. The residue remains. 27 Hz, a slow push that rearranges your heartbeat if you stand too still. My recorder resets to 0. Memory is full. I feel recorded, placed, filed. Blink, and I'm back in the studio. I assume I walked. Condensation dots the cables. Each drop makes a small contact mix sound as it lets go. The monitors glow like they care who's watching. Everything is where it was and also not. Like a face after a long illness. I import the files. Every header says 0 seconds. The drive is 50 gigabytes heavier. I drag a clip into the session. The meters twitch with my pulse. The spectrum shows paired 93 Hz peaks and a faint mist between 22 and 24 kilohertz. Humans don't hear them. We remember there. The data breathes. High-resolution FFT pulls lines out of the noise floor. Corners, a grid with intention. I invert the amplitude, and the waveform draws a map. The alley from above, every angle is true. An extra turn appears, a turn that wasn't there except it is now, because the file decided it should be. Letters climb slowly out of the spectrogram as if someone were riding under ice. Listen, the monitors power down by themselves. The screen stays lit. Light comes from the spectrum now, a low flicker at 27 Hz. The air tastes like copper dust and cooled wire. I lower the fader the way you lower your voice in a church, when you realize you're not the only one speaking. The quiet breathes in, the room breathes out. I don't believe in haunted places. I believe in systems, out of specification. The session sits open like a patient. The spectrum glows without power. That shouldn't be possible. A line of moisture climbs the left monitor's cable against gravity. Each bead vibrates, not with me. With something else. I hold my breath. The beads keep time anyway. I print a bounce of the silence. Render, a progress icon that refuses to turn. Null test, inverted duplicate. Cancel out the recording against itself. Nothing cancels. Subtract the thing from itself. Get a remainder. A thin hiss at 22 to 24 kilohertz. A slow subpair at 27 and 93. And what looks like writing? If you stand far enough back, I step closer. The writing becomes streets. A ruler on the glass. 90 degrees, 90, 90. Then a soft skew at 87.3. The same bend I saw where the alley turned to fog. The plastic vibrates under my fingers in someone else's rhythm. The gain stage is stable, I say softly, to hear my voice behave. Signal path is clean, mains are quiet. Ground intact, I should sleep. Instead, I run a convolution reverb with the silence as the impulse. You don't do this if you love your night. A dry test voice goes in. 0 becomes a tunnel. 1 becomes a corridor. 2 becomes a door that doesn't open. 3 stares. 4 refuses to render. 5 loops back into 0. The reverb is not space. It is instruction. Hair rises along my arms in a slow wave, as if the room were deciding which way wind should go. I mute the send. The fullness stays. The U-87's capsule cools unevenly. You can hear it, if you live with metal long enough. I pick up the handheld recorder and slate the room. Date, time, project tag, file name. My voice sounds pre-recorded, like someone rehearsed me, and I am catching up. I drag the alley into the spectral editor and tug at the 93 Hz spine. The harmonics flex like obedient limbs. Behind them, faint comb filtering appears, evenly spaced notches, teeth marks. If this were only a room response, I'd call it parallel walls. But I'm not measuring a room, I'm measuring a decision. I widen the window until noise becomes lines, and lines become letters, and letters spell listen again, smaller this time, repeating upward like a choir, only the electronics obey. I pull amplitude negative. Letters invert into a topography of breath. My name appears once in the blank. The grid closes over it, not hiding, choosing a layer I cannot touch. The studio door is shut. I didn't hear it close. The bolt slides on its own. It sounds like a fingertip drawn across a drumhead from the other side. Stress artifact, long hours, too much low-end. Confirmation bias, fine. I run a sweep, 20 Hz to 20,000. Minus 18 lufs, slow rise. Slow fall, the room returns it wrong. Expected dips around familiar problems, and new valleys where no wall exists. I add a second sweep, inverted, to cancel irregularities. The irregularities grow, not a room. A mouth that refuses a trick. At 2.3 kHz, the whisper band, the sweep vanishes completely. The analyzer draws a straight gap. My tongue tingles like a 9-volt battery. If I speak, that band will eat the word. I don't. I cut the signal. The room keeps the tone for half a heartbeat. A singer refusing to surrender decay. Then it lets go. There's a sound people make when they stop pretending they aren't listening. It isn't a gasp, it isn't a sigh, it's a permission. The room just gave me one. The drive spins up without a command. The file window opens and gets wider, as if expecting names longer than names. New files appear with no help, untitled. Untitled 2, Untitled 3. Zero duration, non-zero size. The sizes grow in a pattern that looks like a breath cycle written down. Short, long, short, long, long, short. The word yes arrives as a sensation rather than sound. A small hill, a larger hill, a long flat plain. Calm on the screen, not calm in my hands. There's a tremor that isn't mine. I count 8 beats in, 8 out. The tremor keeps its own time, and the space between my body and the rig. Something in the ductwork shifts, like a weight deciding where to live. My mind offers a cat made of wire, to be kind. The duct answers with a soft 41 Hz thought I don't finish. I zoom into the 27 Hz residue. It doesn't plot like a sine. It plots like a staircase descending backward. Each step is the width of my studio tiles. 32 centimeters, the graph agrees. The infrasonic is mapping a room that isn't the alley. It's mapping this room, not how it is. How it will be. Skin tightens across my knuckles as if the air suddenly remembered weather I did not invite. The desk carries a faint granular tremble, the texture of distant applause. I am not used to being the stage. Why me? I don't expect an answer. I get one anyway, not as words. The 93 Hz spine bends a breath, and then holds steady, like a nod. The 7.8 second tremor becomes 8.1, then returns, as if it tried a step, and decided I wasn't ready to follow. I speak into the U87 without recording, to hear what the preamp thinks of me. This is a gain test, I say. Reference voice. Room tone. Each word arrives with a shadow syllable just ahead of it, like a rehearsal. My mouth is late to my own voice. The note lies beside the keyboard, edges darkening as if it is wicking in something that isn't liquid. I turn it over. Nothing printed. Under the desk light, indentations rise pressure marks from a hand that pressed too hard. And some other page, a long time ago. The letters resolve at a low angle. Return one moment. Below that, fainter, a postscript that wasn't on the front. You already did. The room drops another 2 degrees. The floor hums like an elevator moving 100 meters below where elevators may go. Dust that isn't dust falls upward, flickers at 7 Hz, disappears when I try to see it. The room is deciding how much of me to keep. I unlock the door. The hallway is awake in the way an empty place wakes when you announce yourself. I step out with the recorder in my pocket and the note under my thumb. Behind me, the studio breathes out, long enough to dim the lights. The breath smells like rain, wet soil, and something that has spent time inside circuits. On the street, normal performs its duty. Traffic hums, a bus sighs. A refrigerator earns its keep at 1 at 20 Hz. I listen to everything that isn't me. Everything that is me is too loud. In the black glass of a shop window, I find the alley where it shouldn't be. A thin seam of shadow drawn perfectly vertical. It stands there as if the map inside my head has learned how to edit the world when I blink. Behind the glass, the shop is closed. Behind the closed, something listens. I go back when the pavement tremor matches the tremor in my hands. The key sticks twice, then turns. The room is the same and not, like a verdict read quietly. The monitors are dark. The spectrum stays bright. The word listen fades, replaced by a longer shape whose edges I can't hold all at once. It looks like a circuit, or lungs, or a street grid warmed by breath. Easy. The chair complains the way it always does. I let it. No spikes, no mercy, just a system that was closed. Learning how to open, and starting with me. I test the quiet with a sentence. I'm going to follow the shape you're drawing, I say. If you want that. If you don't, stop me. Nothing stops me. Nothing needs to. I trace the grid visible in the spectrum. Street, corner, bend, a narrow turn that didn't exist before I saw it. I write the coordinates I can infer, and my hand writes a number I don't choose. It's gentle like muscle memory someone lent me. Outside, rain begins again, polite at first, then confident. The sound gives the walls permission to exist. I stand. The door opens more easily than doors should. The stairwell breathes a faint transformer hymn. On the sidewalk, the city has corrected itself by a few degrees, not enough to panic anyone, enough to move your balance if you're listening. I walk toward the absence that calls itself an address. The closer I get, the more the world evens into one continuous tone. Headlights blur, footfalls smooth out. A siren turns into a line. At the mouth of the remade alley, the sodium lamp wears a crown of fog. It pulses near 7 hertz again. I speak softly, so the place won't think I'm trying to own it. I'm here. The air listens like a hand on a page. I take one step. Another. The ground beneath my shoes is the same stone I know from before. And also not. The grout joints are wider. The left wall is breathing, slowly. You only see it if you look with the part of you that knows how lungs move. Hello, I say, not to anyone, to the act of listening. Something answers by refusing to echo my voice. That's an answer. The 93 hertz pulse rises through the bones again. Calmer this time, closer, not surrounding, placing. It is the feeling of a hallway that agrees with your size. Under my breath say, I don't want to take anything you don't offer. The sentence sounds like consent, even though it isn't one. I let the alley decide which words to keep. In a window to my right, where no window stood last time, a dim surface reflects the lamp. I step closer. The surface reflects me in slight delay. I raise my hand. The reflection lifts its hand and holds it there for a fraction, as if it had to find me in order to begin. Yes, the alley says with no voice at all. You were never the first, but you can be the next. I don't ask how many. I don't ask when. I don't ask what happened to the others. Some answers are a kind of theft. Instead, I listen for the contour that makes this place itself. The pulse holds steady. The mist glows where the light thinks about being light. The stone smells clean and old at once, somewhere nearby. Water moves upward, quieter now. I lean in, and the alley leans back. The map I brought in my head becomes the floor under my feet. The narrow extra turn that wasn't there reveals itself as a seam between bricks. I put my fingers to it, warm, not from heat. From attention. Okay, I say. Show me what you want me to know. The seam doesn't open. The wall doesn't fold. The bricks don't decide to be anything else. Instead, the sound changes its mind about being sound. The 93 hertz tone shifts a breath high. The third harmonic arrives. 1116, a delicate shimmer. My pulse responds by slowing half a step without asking me. The alley's breath meets mine somewhere in the middle. The lamp's fog breaks into strands and recombines, the way magnetic filings learn a shape handed to them by a field they cannot see. The word listen appears briefly in the strands, and then it dissolves into something longer. Not a word, a path I follow without moving. The path is not forward, it is inward. Under his breath now, the narrator lowers his voice. This is not a place where you walk. This is a place where you are walked. The sound becomes a map of the way my ribs hold air. The map becomes a street. The street becomes a sentence that won't yet admit it's a sentence. The alley doesn't get darker. It becomes more exact. He whispered, we can keep this slow. We can keep this quiet. We can keep this human. The alley answers by removing a small sound I didn't know I was making. The click my back teeth give when I think too hard. The absence feels like kindness. It also feels like a hand on my shoulder that isn't a hand. Quieter now. Yes, time passes without minutes. Rain writes in the margins. The lamp edits. I don't remember leaving. Blink and my desk is back under my palms. The session found its shape while I was gone. The spectrum no longer shows a single word. It shows a phrase I can't read all at once. A phrase that bends like streets do when they remember rivers. The 93 hertz spine sits steady. The 27 hertz breath holds the room up from beneath. I press play on nothing and the room answers anyway. I speak softly for it and for me. I hear you. I think you hear me. If you want to go on, we'll go on. If you want to stop, stop me. The lights don't change. The temperature doesn't rise. The grid on the screen leans a degree toward yes. Outside, the city rehearses a story it hasn't told yet. Elevators stir where no elevators live. Antennas feel heavy with weather. Somewhere, a radio finds a station that isn't on the dial and keeps it. I save the session under a name I will recognize later. I write a short note for myself. Good advice I am unlikely to follow. Keep it slow. Keep it close. Don't force the silence to be anything except itself. You see, I breathe. The room breathes with me. And in the high end, where humans don't hear but remember, a thin shimmer gathers like frost. I can't tell if it's on the glass, or in my head, or somewhere between the two. Quieter now, closer. We are going to the next place together. We will not run. We will not raise our voices. We will not ask the silence to shout just to prove it can. We will listen. And if the city listens back, we will answer like people do. Not louder, more human.